Showing up at the dojo is not enough. So let me share with you 5 simple things that you can do to improve your kendo and to make it more efficient. I want to share 5 simple points to bring awareness to certain little details that I think can make a big difference in your kendo. When you're at the dojo, you have very little time and it's very easy to just fall into the routine of just going through the drills and not really getting any new knowledge after practice. So with these things, I'm hoping that you can start changing little details but get big results. All these things are things that you're gonna be able to practice at the dojo, and some of them you can do at home. If you have any questions about anything I say in this video, you can leave it down in the comments below or pass by one of my streams that I do on the weekends. All you have to do is make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and you have the notifications on so you know when I go live or when I post new videos. The main point with this video again is just to make sure that we get a more mindful practice and we get the best results. So I'll urge you to make sure when you do each drill, have something to focus on in order to just make even little improvements every time you do a drill. Which brings me to my first point, which is know the path of the swing. Every time I'm trying to learn something new, I like to isolate different elements of each technique. Number one being, where does my sword need to be? Where is it coming from? And what is the best way for it to get there? So I take some time to slow myself down to understand this path and to know how it feels when I'm doing it correctly. Especially know what muscles I'm engaging and what muscles I'm not engaging, maybe the angles of my joints, things like this. What I'll suggest you to do is, for example, if you're practicing men, do it slow, just understand the path of the sword and freeze at that position. Try to remember how that feels, what that feels like, and what do you do to get there? And try to replicate these feelings during your regular practice. When I'm doing my regular practice, when I'm doing my regular jigeko, for example, I try to look and feel as much as when I did when I was doing my suburi. The next point is distance. And when I mean distance, I don't mean only the distance between you and your opponent, but also which part of your shinai it's hitting what part of the target. Understand what your target is and aim to that target with the tip of your sword. So a quick reference point is aim with the tip. Put the leather to the cloth. And if we talk about being efficient, just think about how much time and movement you can save if you hit with the farthest point that you have available. You need to figure out what is your distance where you're not leaning, and if you're too close, aiming with the tip of your sword will most likely help you to not take a longer step that you need to. Make sure that when you're doing a technique, you try to go for full extension so you get the maximum reach and you can get there faster, because by extending your hands, you're adding a little bit of extra momentum at the last second of your technique. Which brings me to my next point, is controlling your upper body. Relaxing your upper body as you move. Practice moving without tensing your upper body, not only to not give away your intentions, but also so you can be more adaptable depending on any situation you might be. And you can also do this adding of speed at the end. If you think about it, when you're moving your body and then you extend your hands, you're gonna add speed to your sword. But if you extend your hands or you move your sword before and then you move your body, you're not really getting that extra added speed. Couple things you can do to make this happen or to practice this. You can do suburi moving your feet first and then having your hands catch up. And another thing that I like to do footwork exercises when I do fumikomi, but I don't do the technique. I do as if I'm doing a man or kote man, but try to keep my upper body relaxed, use a mirror, and you understand when you're tensing up or not, because then you can mix it up, do some of them without fumikomi, then do some of them with fumikomi, and you start understanding how to launch your body without moving, but then moving your hands when you want to. By the way, if you're getting some value from this video, take a second to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow, but also it lets me know what type of videos you guys like, and I can make more of them. Tenouchi is a big one, and I made a couple of videos before, and I'm sure I'm gonna make more videos about that. But just to keep it simple here, make sure that at the moment of impact, you relax your fingers and your wrist. When you're practicing, for example, the path of the swing, you can hit your opponent, and right after the hit, you let the sword bounce. Don't fight your sword. Don't try to stick into the target. Just make sure that right after the hit, the sword bounces up, and this will mean that you're relaxing your hands. You do not lift your sword with your hands. You just let the sword naturally bounce. Your arms are still gonna be going forward, but your fingers and wrists are gonna be relaxed. ready for the next technique. A quick little thing you can do at home, maybe find a soft target, use your shinai to hit it and then let it bounce. Understand what a good hit feels like when you're practicing with your partner. Get a good sound. Don't try to go for force. Just that little bit of squeeze of the fingers at the end and let the sword bounce up. Understand how this feels and then replicate this feeling when you're in regular practice. The last one, and I think this one is one that made the biggest difference for me in my fluidity with my footwork, think about the third step. By the way, if you made it this far, let me know down in the comments. I feel that many people may not make it here. That means that I'm probably gonna have to make a video just about this. A few years back, a friend of mine made me aware of this, and it's to make sure that you're thinking about the next step after your fumikomi. When we go for a technique, what happens? The left foot pushes to make the right foot move. Then between fumikomi, fumikiri, and hikitsuki, the left leg comes in, and then we're supposed to keep going forward. Many people kind of just cut off the momentum there because they sink down or maybe they drag the left leg, and it makes it harder to keep going. But if you're consciously thinking that after that fumikomi, you have to push for a next step, it makes it easier for our body to kind of adapt and bring the left leg anchoring and pushing again to move the right foot after the fumikomi. An easier way to visualize it, think that you're doing a fumikomi after your fumikomi. So if you're doing men, think that you're gonna do a fumikomi after the men, or even do it, try it. Actually try this, let me know how it goes, come back and let me know down in the comments. For me, this has helped me a lot on the fluidity of my footwork, on the stability after my fumikomi, and just to make sure that I understand that my left leg needs to come in quick to keep pushing forward in order to get out the quickest, or even if you're gonna do taiyatari, to make sure that you come in with power into your opponent. Please, when you're practicing these things, don't focus on everything I said at once. Just choose maybe one or two, especially if they're related, and then work on them. When they're natural to you, when they start coming out without you thinking about it, move on to the next one. But don't overwhelm yourself and just make sure that you always have something to focus on during your practice. If you want to know more about the mechanics of how to do men, you might want to check this video I made a while back. And also, if you haven't, take a second to subscribe to the channel. That way you know when I go live and also when I post new videos. Join me some of my streams if you have any questions, you want to watch some Kendo videos together and grow together. If you haven't, take a second to please like this video if you enjoyed it and share this with somebody you want their Kendo to improve. Thank you very much for watching.